In the recent Nintendo Direct, we got a sneak peek of Wave 3 of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass, and probably the most exciting thing from that trailer is the fact that they are bringing back half-pipes, which originated in Mario Kart Wii. However, these half-pipes aren't actually returning for a Mario Kart Wii course at all, but rather from Merry Mountain, which is original to Tour. So Nintendo is bringing half-pipes over as a Tour mechanic. That, combined with the fact that Nintendo clearly isn't afraid to mess with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's base game, such as when they changed the speed of how items and coins respawn, as well as the addition of the changing laps mechanic in city courses, that's got me thinking, what else could Nintendo add to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? And this video will be speculating on specifically what Nintendo could bring over from Mario Kart Tour. But before we get started, if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It really helps out the channel, and it allows me to make more videos like this for you guys. And to everyone who's already subscribed, thank you so much. We just passed 1,000 subscribers, which is a huge milestone for the channel. I can't believe we got here so fast. But with all that out of the way, let's roll the intro and get into what could be coming to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Now, the first thing I'd like to talk about is Battle Mode. One of the main differences between Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is that Deluxe actually has a proper battle mode, whereas Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U only allowed you to do a balloon battle on the regular race courses from the base game. Essentially, there were no actual battle courses. While Mario Kart 8 Deluxe did fix this by adding in 8 courses to battle on, it still feels like there could be more, especially given there will be a whopping 96 race courses when the Booster Course Pass is over and done with. But what does any of this have to do with bringing stuff over from Mario Kart Tour? Well, while Mario Kart Tour doesn't have a battle mode yet, it is going to be getting one next tour, and we've already seen 2 of the battle courses that will be included, being GBA Battle Course 1 and GCN Cookie Land. Now, with Mario Kart Tour being Mario Kart Tour, there will almost definitely be more battle courses added in the future with future updates, just like they're doing with the racetracks. We might even get some Tour original battle courses, and what I'm thinking is these courses could be brought over to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe as either part of the Booster Course Pass or as part of a separate DLC. With only 8 battle courses to play on, battle mode gets really dry after a while if you play it often, or even if you just play it for an hour or so. Which is such a shame because Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has some of the most fun battle modes out of any game in the franchise in my opinion. So some new courses could really help to highlight that and get more people back to playing battle mode, because it is really such a fun time. Now, before we move on from battle mode, there is something else I would like to mention that could potentially be brought over from Mario Kart Tour. If you look at the key art for battle mode that Nintendo's released for Tour, you can see that Yoshi has star-colored balloons, possibly indicating that you can customize your balloons in Mario Kart Tour just like you can your glider. I really hope this is brought over to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, especially because there's a really easy way to implement it. Since none of the battle courses have glider sections, you can just replace the portion of the menu where you select your glider with a portion that has you select a different type of balloon. These would very likely be purely aesthetic because an actual change in stats from these balloons really wouldn't work well with the battle system that's already implemented in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. But then that raises the question of how would these balloons be unlocked? I mean, sure, you could have them all unlocked from the start, but I feel like it would be better if you had to actually work for them, like the other cart parts in the game. What first comes to mind is having to just collect a bunch of coins for each set of balloons, similar to how you unlock a lot of the other parts in the game by just collecting a bunch of coins during races. For some specific balloons, however, you might have to say win a certain amount of battles on a specific battle course. This would make the collection of balloons similar to the collection of other cart parts in the game, and it would also add some replayability to the single player option for battle mode. But if Nintendo decided to differentiate the collection of balloons from the rest of the items in the game, then there's actually another really cool way they could do this, but I'm going to save that until later in the video when I talk about something else that could be included in this way of collecting things. But before we get into that, let's talk about something that could affect the core gameplay of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe as we know it, and if executed correctly, for the better. One of the key components of Mario Kart, and pretty much any other kart racer for that matter, is its items. And Mario Kart 8 Deluxe certainly has a decent amount of them, with 23 items in total. That being said, Mario Kart Tour has a whopping 62 items. And while that does include items that are practically duplicates of one another, such as Triple Bananas versus Triple Bananas Plus, that is still a lot even if you take those away. And a few of those items could be brought over to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, as well as a few that aren't even in Tour. Now, I'm not saying I want all of these items to be brought over to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, especially because a lot of these items would not transfer over to a console Mario Kart very well at all. But some of them would really be interesting to have in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's gameplay. And at first, this might seem a little bit outlandish, but I think it is entirely possible for us to get new items in the game. I mean, once again, we know Nintendo is not afraid to mess with the base mechanics of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. In the Wave 2 update of the Booster Course Pass, for every course in the game, Nintendo made it so the items and coins respawn faster, adding to a lot more of the chaos of Mario Kart. It's a small change, but it does drastically change the gameplay. So with that out of the way, let's talk about what items could actually be added. And I know this video is mainly supposed to be focusing on things coming over from Tour, but I first want to mention one that should be in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's base game, but isn't, though it isn't in Tour either. And that is, of course, the Fake Item Box. The Fake Item Box, or FIB as it's come to be known, is a staple item of the Mario Kart franchise, appearing in every 3D entry in the series, apart from Mario Kart 7 and 8. Though remnants of it were found in Mario Kart 7's files, meaning it was originally planned to be in the game before it was scrapped. Fans have been crying out for years for Nintendo to bring back this item, and I think now is the perfect time to do it. For those of you who are unaware, the Fake Item Box is an obstacle that you place on the track similar to a banana, except there are a few key differences. The first one being blatantly obvious, it looks like an item box, though it is not, hence the name, Fake Item Box. Basically, it looks like an upside down item box, and from a distance it looks blue, just like any normal item box, but as you get close to it, you'll see it actually is red, signifying that it's a fake one. If you run into it, it also does more damage to you than a banana as well. While a banana will just have you spin out, with a fake item box you'll flip entirely over and some electrical particles will go around you. The FIB also is not able to block items coming at you if you hold it behind you, but if you drop it just before the item hits you, you are able to block it, similar to how you block items in Mario Kart Double Dash. There really isn't anything a whole lot like it in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and I really hope it does make its return. But now let's get to the point of the video being more things coming over from Tour, and let's talk about some of the items from over there. First off, let's talk about the Mega Mushroom. The Mega Mushroom will make you larger for a certain amount of time, about the same amount of time that a star lasts, and it will allow you to run over anyone else on the track. It also gives you a bit of a speed boost and makes it so off-road does not slow you down. This item actually originated in the Mario Kart Arcade GP games, which is actually before it even had the name Mega Mushroom. Back then it was just called the Giant Mushroom, but it returned as an actual console Mario Kart item in Mario Kart Wii, and then it returned once again in Mario Kart Tour. Balancing wise, I don't think this would be very hard to implement into Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, because the star does pretty much the same thing, albeit it doesn't make you bigger, obviously, and instead of squashing you, it just knocks you over. The Mega Mushroom would also have to probably be a lot less common than the star in the item roulette, given that the star is pretty common, and the Mega Mushroom is more powerful given that it can squish you, which slows you down for a longer period of time than just knocking you over. Next up, we have the Ice Flower, which is actually one of my favorite original items from Mario Kart Tour. Unlike the Fire Flower, the Ice Flower only allows you to shoot 3 projectiles from it, and this is for good reason. 1, the projectiles are a lot larger than that of the Fire Flower, but 2, they are a lot more damaging. While the Fire Flower only makes you spin out similar to a banana, the Ice Flower makes you skid across the track for a second, basically giving the same effect as hitting the Freezies would back in Mario Kart Double Dash. When used properly, this can be devastating, sending people off the edge of the track or just into a section of off-road that's difficult to get out of. This could probably be at the same spot as the Fire Flower in the item roulette, given that the fact that it only has 3 projectiles balances it out against other items where it otherwise would be overpowered. And the final item I'll be talking about in this video is the hammer. The hammer is, once again, similar to the Fire Flower, except instead of throwing fireballs, you throw hammers, and they go in an arc above your cart, and they will hit people either in front of or behind you, depending on where you throw them. They'll also make you spin out similar to the fireballs, though the effect is slightly more devastating, basically akin to being hit by a green shell rather than being hit by a banana. You also cannot throw as many of these hammers as you can fireballs, and you cannot throw them as rapidly. And while this item did technically appear in the Mario Kart Arcade GP games, I'm going to be considering this a Tour original given how vastly different it is in Tour when compared to the arcade games. In the arcade games, you basically just took out a giant hammer and swung it all willy-nilly. Should this item be brought over from Tour, I think it should be one of the less common ones. Though Mario Kart 8's item selection is distance-based and not placement-based, I still feel that around 8th place should be around where this item should appear. But if it was edited to have the hammers thrown even less rapidly than they do in Tour, then I can see it moving up a few placements. But now that we're done talking about items, let's move into the final section of this video, which is something I'm actually very surprised Nintendo hasn't already implemented with the Booster Course Pass. You probably already know what I'm going to talk about in this section. It's something that so many other YouTubers before me have talked about, speculated on, and created concepts of. It's bringing over the characters and character alts from Tour. As of right now, there are a whopping 192 playable characters in Mario Kart Tour. And of course that total does include the character alts because Tour considers those to be their own characters, but even so, that is a huge amount of characters, and so many of those could be brought over to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe either as skins for the current characters or as new characters entirely. Now this would probably be done in one of two ways. The first would be just including it in the Booster Course Pass, maybe a surprise in addition to the final wave. Every current character would get one additional character alt, and maybe a few fan favorites could be added as new characters as well, such as Funky Kong and Dixie Kong. But what could also be done is if we got an entirely separate DLC, something like a character boost pass, which by the way Switch Stop made a very detailed concept trailer of, which I will be linking in the description. It perfectly outlines what this could look like, and I really think if Nintendo does do this, it will be something very similar to that. Basically, not only will we get character alts for existing characters, but we would get a whole slew of new characters, basically doubling the current roster. But just like the balloons in the battle portion of this video, this brings up the question, how would these characters actually be unlocked? And while these characters could be unlocked just like the characters in the original Mario Kart 8 were, or just like how the balloons could be unlocked as I mentioned earlier, there is a better option in my opinion that could be done for not only just these characters, but also the balloons for the battle mode. And that is an in-game shop. Now this would have to be handled very well to avoid any microtransactions. We definitely do not want any of those entering Mario Kart 8 Deluxe from Tour. Those can stay in Tour. But an in-game shop might not be the worst idea if we could earn the currency that we spend in that shop through actual gameplay, and there was no way to actually buy that currency. Again, we do not want microtransactions. How I think this could work is that there will be multiple currencies, of course coins being the main one. To earn coins, you would just collect them throughout races, just like how you would unlock the kart parts in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and the characters in the original Mario Kart 8. Only this time you get to choose what you spend your coins on. The points you earned at the end of races as well might be used as their own currency, or they might add to a small multiplier that would allow you to earn more coins per the coins you actually earn in each race. But something that I think should 100% be its own currency is something that I'm going to be calling, for the sake of simplicity, rubies. And for those of you who don't know, that's one of the currencies in Mario Kart Tour. Basically, these would be earned through daily challenges, similar to the tickets in Tetris 99, except instead of 3 challenges per day, there would be maybe 5 to 10, and you would earn a different amount of rubies for how difficult the challenges are. Some challenges could be as simple as race 5 races online, or play a course with this specific kart combination. But others could be maybe beat the expert staff ghost on 200cc on this specific track. There could be so many different challenges you could do. And not only would this be a really fun way to unlock the characters, but it would also add a lot of replay value to the game. Even if you unlock everything there is to unlock, you could still go back every day and see what challenges there are to complete. But while I do think we are definitely getting some sort of character boost pass at some point, whether it be its own DLC or just something thrown into the last wave of the Booster Course Pass, I don't really think Nintendo will go the extra mile to add something as big as an in-game shop to earn these. If I had to guess, these would all just be unlocked from the start. But it is still really fun to speculate, and who knows, maybe Nintendo will surprise us. But what do you all think? Do you think it should be Nintendo's top priority to bring the double Bob-omb over from Mario Kart Tour? let me know down in the comments below, and while you're down there, you might as well like the video. I mean, if you got this far, you probably liked it, and if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe. With all that out of the way, thank you all for watching. I'm Jacob with the Game Block, signing off.